Have you ever felt like your own mind is a prison? Have you ever lain awake in the quiet hours of the night, your heart racing, your chest tight, replaying a moment of betrayal, a sharp insult, or a deep injustice over and over again? You are not alone. We all carry invisible scars. But what happens when the pain of the past begins to poison your present? What happens when the anger you hold against someone else starts destroying you from the inside out? Today, we are going to explore the profound art of controlling your emotions through the ultimate act of liberation, forgiveness. This is not just a story, it is a mirror reflecting your own inner battles. Prepare to embark on a deep, transformative journey that will change the way you view your pain, your past, and your future. Welcome to Wisdom Echo. If you are seeking inner peace, personal growth, and the timeless truths that guide us through the storms of life, you have found your home. Here, we echo the wisdom of the ages to help you navigate the complexities of the modern world. Settle in, take a deep breath, and let us begin. The anatomy of the storm. Before we can learn to control our emotions, we must first understand them. Emotions are the raw, unfiltered language of the human experience. They are the body's immediate response to the world around us. Joy, sadness, fear, and anger, they all serve a purpose. They are messengers. But too often, we do not just listen to the message, we invite the messenger in, offer them a seat at the head of the table, and allow them to take over our entire house. Anger, in particular, is a seductive emotion. It feels like power when we are actually completely powerless. When someone wrongs us, anger rises as a shield, a mechanism of self-preservation. It tells us, you are right, they are wrong, and they must pay. We hold on to this anger, believing our resentment is a punishment we are inflicting upon the person who hurt us. But consider this truth. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. The person who wronged you may be miles away, completely unaware of your suffering, perhaps even sleeping peacefully, while you are trapped in a cycle of stress, elevated cortisol, and emotional exhaustion. Your refusal to forgive does not chain them, it chains you. To master your emotions, you must step back and observe the storm without being swept away by it. You must recognize that your thoughts are not you. They are simply events happening in your mind. Between the stimulus, what happens to you, and your response, there is a space. In that space lies your freedom. But how do we find that space when the pain is so deep? How do we let go when every fiber of our being demands justice? To answer this, let us travel back to a time of simplicity, to a story that holds the key to emotional mastery. The betrayal. In a bustling ancient trade city, there lived a highly skilled artisan and merchant named Kayalin. Kayalin was known throughout the region not just for his incredible craftsmanship, but for his generous spirit. He had built a thriving business from nothing, pouring years of sweat, sleepless nights, and boundless passion into his work. Kayalin had a partner, a man named Jaron, whom he considered not just a colleague, but a brother. They had shared meals, weathered hardships, and celebrated triumphs together. Kayalin trusted Jaron with his life, and naturally with the entirety of his life's work. But greed is a quiet disease. It creeps in softly, often disguised as ambition. Over the course of a year, Jaron began secretly siphoning funds, forging documents, and claiming Kayalin's designs as his own. The betrayal was meticulous and devastating.
When Caelin finally uncovered the truth, it was too late. Jaren had fled the city, leaving Caelin with insurmountable debts, a ruined reputation, and a shattered heart. The immediate aftermath was a blur of survival for Caelin, but as the dust settled, a dark, heavy cloud descended upon him. Anger took root in his soul. It started as a flame, but soon roared into a consuming wildfire. Caelin could think of nothing else. During the day, his hands shook as he tried to rebuild his business, his mind hijacked by fantasies of revenge. At night, he stared at the ceiling, his chest tight with a suffocating bitterness. The vibrant, generous man the city once knew was gone, replaced by a hollow shell of rage. His health began to fail. His relationships with remaining friends withered, for Caelin could speak of nothing but his hatred for Jaren. The anger had become his identity. He had survived the financial ruin, but he was losing his soul. The journey to the summit. Desperate to find peace and realizing that his rage was literally killing him, Caelin heard whispers of an old monk who lived in solitude at the very peak of the Whispering Mountains. This monk was said to possess profound wisdom regarding the mind and the heart. Having nothing left to lose, Caelin packed a small bag and began the arduous trek to the very peak of the Whispering Mountains. The journey was brutal. The mountain paths were steep, the air grew thin, and the elements tested Caelin's physical limits. Yet the physical pain was a welcome distraction from the emotional agony that had haunted him for months. After weeks of travel, Caelin finally reached a small, humble monastery sitting above the clouds. There, sweeping the stone courtyard, was the old monk. He was a man of fragile frame, but possessed eyes that held the depth of the ocean. Caelin collapsed at the monk's feet, exhausted, broken, and desperate. "Master," he pleaded, his voice cracking, "I have been wronged. I have been betrayed by the one I trusted most. My heart is a furnace of anger, and I cannot put out the fire. I cannot eat. I cannot sleep. Please teach me how to punish him in my mind, or teach me how to forget." The monk stopped sweeping, leaned on his broom, and looked at Caelin with profound compassion. "I cannot teach you how to punish him," the monk said softly, "for punishment is the universe's domain. And I cannot teach you how to forget, for the mind is designed to remember. But I can teach you how to be free." Caelin nodded eagerly. "Anything! I will do anything!" The monk walked over to a pile of rough, heavy river stones sitting near the garden. He handed Caelin a large, sturdy burlap sack. "For the next month, you will live here with me, but there is one condition. Every time you think of Jaren, every time you feel the sting of his betrayal, and every time anger rises in your chest, I want you to find a heavy stone, write Jaren's name on it with a piece of charcoal, and place it in this sack." Caelin looked at the sack, confused. "And then?" "And then you must carry the sack with you, everywhere. When you work in the garden, the sack must be on your back. When you eat, the sack must be in your lap. When you sleep, the sack must be beside your head. You are never to be separated from it." It seemed like a strange, simplistic task, but Caelin, desperate for a cure of his misery, agreed.
The burden of the unforgiven. The first few days were manageable. Caelin's mind, accustomed to looping thoughts of betrayal, produced dozens of stones. By the end of the third day, the burlap sack was a quarter full. It was heavy, but Caelin was a strong man. He carried it to the garden, brought it to the dining hall, and slept next to it. By the end of the first week, the sack was halfway full. The physical toll began to manifest. Caelin's shoulders ached continuously.
The strap of the sack dug deep into his skin, leaving raw red marks. Cooking became incredibly difficult, as he had to navigate the small kitchen with 20 pounds of stone strapped to his body. As the second week dragged into the third, Kalen's situation became agonizing. His anger toward Jaren was still present, and so the stones kept accumulating. The sack now weighed 40 pounds. Every step Kalen took required immense effort. He could no longer stand up straight. He slept terribly, as the bulky, hard sack of rocks took up half his bed, bruising him in the night. The smell of the damp river stones and the dirt from the sack became nauseating. He was exhausted, irritable, and in constant physical pain. One evening, while trying to pull weeds in the garden, the sheer weight of the sack threw him off balance. Kalen fell hard into the mud, unable to get up because the massive bag of stones pinned him down. Tears of frustration streamed down his face. The old monk walked over quietly and stood beside him. "Master," Kalen sobbed from the mud, "I cannot do this anymore. This sack is too heavy. It is destroying me. I can't breathe. I can't move. I can't live like this." The monk knelt beside him, his voice calm and gentle. "Tell me, Kalen, where is Jaren right now?" Kalen sniffled, confused by the question. "I don't know. 1,000 miles away in another kingdom, spending my money." "Is Jaren carrying this sack?" the monk asked. "No," Kalen replied. "Is Jaren feeling the pain in your shoulders? Is he suffocating under this weight? Is he losing sleep because of these stones?" "No," Kalen whispered, the realization beginning to dawn on him. "This sack," the monk explained, gesturing to the heavy load, "is your anger. It is your resentment. It is your refusal to forgive. You thought by holding on to your anger, you were holding Jaren accountable. But look at you. Jaren is living his life, completely unburdened by these stones. You are the only one carrying them. You are the only one being crushed. The poison you meant for him is killing you." Part 5. The Act of Letting Go. Kalen lay in the mud, the truth of the monk's words echoing in his mind. He had spent a year believing his anger was his armor, his right, his loyalty to his own sense of justice. He realized in that profound moment that his resentment had not protected him, it had imprisoned him. "How do I let it go?" Kalen asked, his voice trembling. "What he did was wrong. It was unfair. If I drop the sack, doesn't it mean that what he did was okay?" The monk smiled, a sad, knowing smile. Forgiveness is the most misunderstood virtue in the human experience. Forgiving Jaren does not mean that what he did was right. It does not mean you must ever trust him again, or that he is absolved of the cosmic consequences of his actions. Forgiveness is not a gift you give to the person who hurt you. The monk reached out and unbuckled the heavy strap from Kalen's shoulder. "Forgiveness," the monk continued, "is the gift you give to yourself. It is the conscious decision to put down the stones. It is the realization that you deserve peace more than you desire vengeance. You let it go by accepting that the past cannot be changed, but your future does not have to be defined by it." With the strap undone, Kalen slowly pushed the massive sack off his body. It hit the ground with a heavy, dull thud. For the first time in weeks, Kalen stood up straight. His shoulders felt terrifyingly light. The absence of the crushing weight was exhilarating. He took a deep, full breath, the mountain air filling his lungs completely. He felt a profound sense of release, not just in his body, but in his spirit. He looked at the sack of stones, the physical manifestation of his hatred, and he walked away from it. The mastery of emotion. Kaylin's story is our story. How many invisible stones are you carrying right now? How heavy is the sack of past resentments, old arguments, childhood grievances, and bitter betrayals that you are hauling around every single day? To control your emotions, you must first recognize the heavy sacks you are carrying. Emotional regulation does not mean suppressing what you feel. It means acknowledging the emotion, feeling it, and then making the conscious choice not to pack it into a sack and carry it for the rest of your life. Mindfulness is the tool that helps you spot the stones before you pick them up. When someone insults you, disrespects you, or wrongs you, the immediate biological response is anger. That is natural. But what happens in the next 10 seconds dictates the quality of your life. Will you grab a stone, carve their name on it, and add it to your burden? Or will you observe the insult, recognize it as a reflection of their character and not yours, and let it fall to the ground? Inner peace is not a state of passivity. It is an active, daily practice of boundaries and release. It requires immense strength to look at a person who has shattered your world and say, "You broke my trust, but I will not allow you to break my spirit. I release you from my mind so that I may reclaim my life." Here is how you can begin to practice this life-changing emotional control today. First, practice the pause. When a wave of negative emotion hits, do not react immediately. Breathe, count to 10. In that pause, you take back control from the primitive, reactive part of your brain and hand it over to your conscious, rational mind. Second, reframe the narrative. When you hold a grudge, you are casting yourself as the eternal victim in the story of your own life. Rewrite the script. You are not a victim who was broken. You are a survivor who learned a deeply painful but valuable lesson about human nature. Third, practice radical acceptance. Suffering arises from resisting reality. It happened. It was awful. It was unfair. But no amount of agonizing over it will rewind the clock. Accept that it occurred. Grieve the loss and focus all your energy on building what comes next. And finally, release the stones. Forgive. Do it silently in your own heart. You do not need to call the person. You do not need to reconcile with them. You simply need to unbuckle the heavy strap from your own shoulders, drop the sack, and walk away toward your own freedom.
The true meaning of success. Kaylin did not stay on the mountain forever. He eventually returned to his city. He was older, and he had less money than before, but he possessed a wealth that no one could ever steal from him, an unshakable inner peace. When people tried to cheat him, he dealt with it swiftly and legally, but without losing his temper. When competitors gossiped about him, he smiled and continued his work. He rebuilt his business, not out of a frantic desire to prove himself to his betrayer, but out of a pure love for his craft. He became known not just as a master artisan, but as a master of himself. Success is often measured by wealth, status, and power. But true success, the kind that lets you sleep deeply at night and wake up with a clear mind, is the ability to govern your own inner world. The world will always be chaotic. People will always be flawed. Injustices will happen. If your peace depends on the external world behaving perfectly, you will never know a day of rest. But if you anchor your peace internally, if you learn to observe your emotions rather than become enslaved by them, if you master the art of putting down the stones, you become invincible. You become a beacon of light in a world that is desperately seeking direction. Your calmness becomes your superpower. Thank you for spending this time with us on Wisdom Echo. If Kaelin's journey resonated with you, if you are ready to drop the heavy stones you have been carrying, take a moment to reflect on your own life today. It takes courage to forgive, but it is the most rewarding journey you will ever take. If this message brought value to your life, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. Subscribe to Wisdom Echo for more profound stories and deep dives into personal mastery, mindfulness, and the timeless truths that shape our lives. Until next time, remember, the past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. Put down the stones, breathe, and step into your freedom.